Hello, 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 hello. Let me double check my settings. Looks good over here. All right. Hello, 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 everybody. And welcome once again to an episode of Tarot by Hilary Live. I am your hostess with the mostest, Hilary of tarotbyhilary.com, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful gifts, your own intuition. Because, yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. Tonight's episode is just a general check-in for the live stream. And also checking in on the Pulp Tarot, which I have not been posting as steadily or as daily as I want to. However, I did manage to pull a card of the day today, and it was the Empress card. So we're going to check in and see if people are liking the Pulp Tarot. I'm liking it from what I've seen. And yeah, just a general check-in. We will have we will have the Astro-Biz Digest, the astro-weather at the top of the episode, the mid-episode reading in the middle of the episode, and the weekend forecast at the end of the episode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and grab my laptop charger because I left it in the other room, and I will be right back in. So until then, let's go ahead and do the intro video. Water. Well. Oh. All right. I nearly tripped over myself finding the wire for the cord. And as you'll notice, I'm using a different set of headphones tonight because for some reason, the left earbud of my UE Fits has gone out for no reason. I have no idea why. So, so hello to Sophia. Hello to Josephine. Hello to everyone who's tuning in. Welcome to the broadcast. And let me put up my lower third. Oh, Sophia says very fashionable. I know, they're cute. I mean, they were like relatively cheap for when I got them, and they are technically Bluetooth and wireless, though they are put together. You know, they're together like this, but it's better that I have them than not have them, because otherwise, if I was running audio like the intro video, you would hear an echoing sound. So if I didn't have them in, so I figured let's avoid the echoing sound, especially if we have to like possibly use the wheel of names instead of the lottery jar for the mid-episode reading, and we have the little like ticker sound or the celebration sound better to not have an echo of the audio there. So, all right. So I know that we have a new moon in Taurus, I believe, happening today. So that is going to be probably like the big part of the AstroBiz Digest. And I'm going to have to take off this sweatshirt because I am roasting. I also need some water too. So I will be right back. And I will find my other video package saying I will be right back. Hold, please. All of the things that I forgot to do before starting up the live stream. That was for the Pulp unboxing. That's blog. I swear I have it in here somewhere. I didn't realize I had done this so long ago. I think I made the Be Right Back in February. Jeez, had no idea. All right, this I can take away. So I will be right back. Say goodbye. Oh, that's much better. Okay. All right. So let us start off with the astro weather from Teresa Reed's wonderful AstroBiz Digest, which is a year-long subscription for $99 for the year, geared towards entrepreneurs and business owners. But I found it to be very, very helpful in planning my own personal life. And this is something that she does astrology in layman's terms right to your email inbox. So what I like to do for the live stream is to go over the overarching transits for the week and then focus on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because I don't want to give away the farm when I'm giving this. I want to give you just a taste of why I subscribe to the AstroBiz Digest, and to basically to wet your whistle. And if you like what I'm saying, to encourage you to pick up a copy of the AstroBiz Digest for yourself. So let me go ahead and show that. Where is that? Let's see. Here we go. Let me push that and then show that on screen. There we go. So like I was saying before, $99 for the year. Astrology in layman's terms, right to your email inbox. And I'm going to go ahead and show the link so that you can purchase it for yourself. But I would encourage you to not go over there yet, to listen to what I have to say. And if you're vibing with it, then I would encourage you to go ahead and follow the link after this episode is done and get a copy of the AstroBiz Digest for yourself. Sound good? Sound good? Sound good. All right. Let me pull this up for this week. And let me show this. Okay. So are we ready? Are we ready to find out the astrology for this week, the overall astrology and the nitty-gritty for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? If so, give me a hell yeah in the chat. Let me know that you are excited. I don't even think I've opened it yet. I don't even think I've taken a look at this yet at all this week because I've just been so busy. Ah. All right. So Katie is here. Welcome, Katie. Hello, in time for the astrology. Woo. All right. Yeah. Okay. So overall, wow. Oh my goodness. There's a lot of stuff going on this week, guys. So be prepared. So this week feels like we're turning a corner. First up, Jupiter enters Taurus on the 16th, setting the stage for big time financial growth. The economy should improve, opening up the possibility of making more cash. This means you'll want to double down on your marketing for the following year. The more you hustle, the more you'll gain. Also, if you haven't raised your rates in forever, do it this year. You deserve a pay upgrade. More good money news. The new moon in Taurus is present on the 19th, so that's what I was mentioning before. It's today. A super fab day for launching new products, opening up a new business, or another income stream. There is no better day for getting new things off of the ground. The payoff will show up sooner than you think. Set intentions for money, security, and creativity. And you can learn how to do that with the book New Moon Astrology by Jan Spiller. Also, what I'm going to do, I know it's not something that I usually do for these episodes, but I am going to grab my Moonology deck if it's close to hand to take a look at what Moonology says for the new moon in Taurus. So I'm going to do that too. Not right now, but remind me after we're done with the AstroBiz Digest. All right. Mars enters Noble Leo on the 20th, creating the perfect conditions for leadership and bold PR campaigns. During this transit, you'll want to grab the mic, claim your place in the sun, and inspire the masses. So that is tomorrow. You may need to take care of a few unruly types, but you can do that without letting your crown slip. The key is to remain poised no matter what. Be the example of true royalty and you'll own the Iron Throne. This transit remains until July 10th, so plenty of time to rule your world. The sun skips into chatty Gemini on the 21st, making communication all the rage for the following 4 weeks. So we're entering Gemini season on the 21st. Send out newsletters, pitch the media, host live streams, and remember to market as much as possible. The more you talk about your work, the bigger your audience can be. This transit is also terrific for writers. If you have an idea in mind, reach out to publishers. Be sure to schedule as much time as possible for creating content too. Lastly, watch out for petty gossip during these few weeks. A few vicious types might be looking to drag you down to their level. Nope, you can't touch this. So that is the overall transits that are going on this week. So we've got a lot of stuff going on this week, guys. Yep, Katie's saying Mercury post-shadow has been grabbing from all angles. All right, let me go ahead and hide the AstroBiz Digest. And we'll continue into the nitty-gritty for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So for Friday, today, May 19th, Mercury sextile Saturn at 2:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time creates dynamic conditions for studying, writing, and cleaning out the inbox. It's yours for the weekend, which means you've got plenty of time to learn, write, and purge. Creativity soars when the moon sextiles Neptune at 9:39 a.m. So we already talked a little bit about that, but tapping into this and you'll be unstoppable with your writing. An excellent time for a PR campaign occurs when the moon is conjunct with the sun at 11:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get your face out there and you could see your income rise. At 2:48 p.m., the moon enters brainy Gemini, the best lunation for meetings, newsletters, pitching the media, and writing. See a theme developing here? Oh, and by the way, my natal moon is in Gemini too. So I am quite happy right now with that transit. What do you need to say? You can get your words right this weekend. Host a power meeting at 3:20 p.m. when the moon trines Pluto. You can negotiate like a boss at that time. Deep breaths. You got this. So today, Friday, May 19th, is a power day for Taurus and a weekday for Scorpio. It's interesting that it says moon entering brainy Gemini. I thought the moon was in Taurus. Am I wrong about that? I thought the new moon was in Taurus. Let me see. That might be a typo there. I'm not sure. All right. Saturday. On Saturday, Mars will be in fiery Leo at 11:31 a.m., one of the best transits for leadership. So we've already talked a little bit about the info above the scopes to learn more, what Mars in Leo means. Yes. Perfect conditions for leadership and bold PR campaigns. And that transit remains until July 10th. So you've got plenty of time to take advantage of that. Mars will oppose Pluto at 11:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing out the wannabe dictators. Do not get into pointless wars with anyone tonight or tomorrow. It will only lead to unnecessary drama. Competition could get ugly as well. While there's nothing wrong with a little bit of it, this aspect can drive some to play dirty as hell. Gemini season begins on Sunday at 3:09 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This, so again, basically writing about your biz, communicating about your biz. Send out a newsletter, pitch the media, or host a meeting when the sun trines Pluto at 9:58 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. It's so good for all of that jazz. The evening gets funky when the moon squares Neptune and stations void at 6:12 p.m. Why work when you can enjoy conversations over a home-cooked meal? Sunday ends with the moon easing into Cancer at 11:28 p.m., your best lunation for cozy activities, client care, and setting up your office for Monday. Rest up so you can take care of these things tomorrow. Both days, Saturday and Sunday, are power days for Gemini and weekdays for Sagittarius. So I'm a little bit confused here because I think it's supposed to be the new moon where it says 2:48 p.m. the moon enters brainy Gemini. I believe that might have been Taurus. I thought the new moon was in Taurus. New moon in Taurus present on the 19th, launching new products, opening a new business, or another income stream. So I think it's new moon in Taurus, not Gemini. Sophia says, fuck yeah. So at this time, I'd like to open up the floor to you and ask you if there's any particular days you want me to take a look at for the astrology. If Tuesday was a little bit funky. Oh, Katie's saying new moon was in Taurus, but it can move to Gemini quickly after. I see. Yeah. I'm going to check an astrostate. Please do. Please double check us because I don't want to give wrong information. But that sounds accurate because I mean, like Taurus and Gemini are so closely related because it goes Aries, then Taurus, then Gemini. So it could be that the new moon is in Taurus, but that it doesn't last very long in Taurus. It moves into Gemini very quickly. Sophia saying, thankfully, a much calmer week this week. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't claim for it to be a calmer week. Unfortunately, you know, some personal issues, some losses that don't really want to get into here, but it's definitely been a downer of a week. So I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to keep an upbeat I guess, sensation or brand right now, while I'm definitely not feeling entirely upbeat. So, yes. So Katie's confirming the moon has now moved into Gemini. So you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to find the moonology, and I'm going to look at both the new moon in Taurus and the new moon in Gemini, because I think that way we cover all of our bases of what we need to know for the new moon energy. Yeah, Katie's saying new moon was in the morning, but it's evening now. And by the way, if you're looking at spammers or scammers in the comments, Sophia has her moderator hat on and she is on top of it. Scammer time for you to sashay away. All right. Is there anyone that wants me to take a look at like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the astrology? Speak now while I go run and get the moonology deck, and let me know, because I can totally do that if I know where the heck I put my moonology deck. I could have sworn I put it over here on the side, but I guess not. I think I might have put it back with some of my other decks. Definitely not on the bed. Yes, I will be right back. Moonology, where are you? I have to rip this off because it's so warm. Are you warm? Let's see. Oh, I have that here. Irritated. Hmm. I have no idea where I put that deck. Definitely know where the Pulp Tarot is. Very strange. I have a feeling I deposited it in one of my other bags and then promptly forgot where the hell I put it. Or I have it underneath this pile. Don't know where it went, guys, so can't quote from it if I don't know where it is. Oh well. Aha. So more specific, Katie is telling us the new moon was in Taurus, but at 28 degrees, and now it is at 2 degrees of Gemini. Good to know. All right. So I just wanted to check in with you guys. I wanted to run this whether or not we had a specific topic in mind to talk about, because I can always find something to talk about on here. And actually, something presented itself really like quickly in the form of a snarky comment, but at the same time, I didn't want to dedicate an entire episode to this one snarky comment that I saw. But I had to tell you guys about it because clearly this person that apparently tuned into, I think it was a podcast episode, but it was a video podcast episode, so I could show the differences between counterfeit decks or the sizes of counterfeit decks, and just give examples, more visual examples. I put that in the form of a video podcast, and I also did the audio podcast. So that was episode. Let me take a look what episode that was. Episode 34. So it wasn't even the most recent episode of the Tarot by Hilary podcast. It was episode 34, which came out a month ago. It was actually the day before my birthday, How to Spot Counterfeit Decks. And it was about an hour-long episode. And so I put it up as both an audio podcast. Wherever you subscribe to your podcast, you should be able to find my podcast. It's the Tarot by Hilary podcast. And I also put it up as a video podcast because I believe it was one of the live call-in shows that I do, where I always have a backup topic in mind, just in case people don't call in or don't show up to the live call-in show that's over Zoom. So I talked a little bit about counterfeit decks, especially because I had experienced going into a New Age store and seeing a bunch of counterfeit tarot decks on the shelves and like basically saying, here's how you identify it. And I didn't even notice that this person made a comment on my Tube of You channel about that particular episode because I didn't think it was necessarily a controversial thing to talk about, but apparently it was. So I'm going to put it to you guys. What do you think this person said to me? I'm going to look for it right now so I can quote exactly what this person said to me, but I know roughly along the lines of what they said to me. But I didn't think talking about counterfeit decks and how to spot counterfeit decks was going to be particularly controversial or, troll inspiring, but it was. So you tell me what this person said to me. I'm going to go back through my library so I can actually see exactly what this person said to me. I know roughly. All right, there I am. Most of the time. You guys are close. You guys are close with the comments. All right, so Katie's guessing probably something about how decks are so expensive that they should be able to use counterfeit decks. I think you're the closest. You're the closest to the comments, Katie. Like you're almost dead on there, okay? Sophia says, "How dare you promote inaccessible content artists must make their art cheap. How dare they make a living?" Yeah, again, like, wow, you guys are just on the money there. Like, yeah. It was like I don't even understand how that was controversial to say you shouldn't be buying counterfeit decks. And, you know, I don't even think I said that. I just like I made a point of here's how to spot counterfeit decks so that you don't buy a counterfeit deck, because if you do buy a counterfeit deck, you are ripping off the artists, like it's not a good thing what you're doing. All right. So I spot them and I buy. So this is 3 weeks ago that this person commented this. Okay, ready? I spot them and I buy them. It's a lesson to the original creators to stop overcharging their decks. So get off your high horse, dog. By the way, this person only has, they joined the Tube of You 2 years ago. They're not even listing their real name. They only have 3 subscribers, and they have no content. They have no videos. So I'm leaving that comment up there. It's not even like, it doesn't even, like, I didn't even notice the comment was there, because it's just like there's like newest and then there's like top comments or whatever. And so it doesn't even like appear most of the time, but I saw like one comment, but it wasn't appearing. So then I clicked on like newest or whatever, and then I was able to see it. So Sophia says, these are the assholes that steal from crystal stores and think it's going to be good to use in their spiritual practice. Excellent question, Sophia. Were they 15 years old? No idea. No idea, but they felt the need to call me dog. Get off your high horse, dog. It's just like, I didn't think having moral integrity was necessarily being on a high horse. Katie says, then complains that their decks don't work for them. Yeah, exactly. Like, I could not even believe it. And it's just like, I'm just gonna leave that comment up there because it just kind of makes me laugh, but I'm not going to respond to it, because there's no winning in trying to respond to that. Like, there's nothing I could probably say to change their mind. It's just really silly, though. Sophia says, it's giving God, Mom. Nobody online gets me. But it does have that it smacks of, everything should be free. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you have, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like being on a public platform like the Tube of You, like the Book of Face, you can find a lot of the things that you want to do, you can find for free, or you can find how to train yourself or teach yourself for free using different videos. And I mean, like, if you're really that cheap about it, like, you can make a tarot deck yourself, or you can make a Lenormand deck yourself by just writing down on 78 index cards the word, or the, like the Hanged Man, or the Fool, or the Empress, or the Emperor, or the Two of Swords, or write out 78 index cards, create a tarot deck of your own that way, or do the same thing for Lenormand, which is 36 cards. You can totally do that. You can bootstrap. You can also find legitimate tarot decks during like there are tarot deck swap groups, but that doesn't tell me, or that doesn't say to me, counterfeiting is the way to go. You know what I mean? Like, there are ways to be able to learn tarot and to purchase your decks while still being in integrity while you're purchasing the decks. Katie says, I have bought the cards for their artwork. I just don't buy them often. But that's the difference, Katie. Like, you're choosing to use your money and to spend it wisely on a deck that is calling to you, or a deck that the artwork is stirring something in your soul, but you're also saying to yourself, listen, I don't have a lot of money to spend on a tarot deck, so I am going to be a little bit more frugal about my spending habits around tarot. And I'm only going to buy a deck a year or every 2 years, or only if it meets this requirements in my head, you know? But there's a difference between setting boundaries or setting a budget and then doing something shady like buying counterfeit decks, especially when you know better. Like, if you know better, you should be doing better, you know? Yeah. So Sophia says, so then they can subsidize the entire tarot community. I'll read for free if you pay my bills. And Katie said, yes, let them design their own deck and see how they feel when people steal their copyright. Yeah, that too. My example was basically just writing down the name of the card on a piece of paper or an index card, maybe not doing like stick figures or anything, but you could. But there is also a stick figure tarot deck. So you are technically stealing that copyright by doing so. And Sophia says, this is a great example here. Liminal 11 decks go on sale for like $12 and they're great. Yes, I agree. Liminal 11 decks are really great. Good packaging, good card stock, and they do go on sale. So it's just like this whole thing about like tarot decks are so expensive. So I feel justified by buying counterfeit decks. Like, then clearly I'm not the right, influencer for you, or the right content creator for you, because I'm going to take umbrage to that. Like, you should support your tarot community by buying legitimate decks or buying indie decks. Buy indie decks. There's nothing wrong with buying an indie deck. But when I talk about counterfeit decks, that is not what I'm talking about when I talk about counterfeit decks. I'm not talking about indie decks. I am talking about people literally, like ripping off somebody else's copyright and copying it, making the artwork muddy, making it illegible, saying that the guidebook is available in PDF form through doing this QR code. Like, those are all signs of a counterfeit deck. And the more you put the money into counterfeited decks, the more bad behavior is going to go on, and the more that the community is left unchecked, and you're actually driving people away from the tarot industry by doing that. Because if that continues, they're not going to produce any more tarot decks because they don't want their work copied or copyright infringed. Exactly. Here's another solution. You can buy the new Los Scarabeo blank deck for $25 to make your own. Laughing my ass off. I think they're kind of nuts for that, though. Yeah. Or get index cards. Like, how much does a blank set of index cards go for? And a pen. But like, that's not the point of it. You know what I mean? Like, clearly these people are not in the right ethical ballpark that we are. And there's no amount of saying it that's going to change their mind or change their belief system about it. So, like, I mean, for example, the pulp tarot. The pulp tarot is attributed to Todd Alcott, but he is also referencing where these images are coming from, where these images are sourced from. Like, where is this here? Why pulp? For me, it had to do with gut impact. Pulp illustrations and the other mid-century American illustrations I've drawn from when creating this deck were designed to grab the viewer's attention. Pulp illustrations had to compete with hundreds of other illustrations on magazines and book covers at the corner magazine stand. That means that they tended towards hyperbole and sensationalism with dynamic composition, saturated colors, and overstated emotions. Everything is bigger in pulp illustration, juicier, spicier, more dramatic. A pulp illustration had to punch through the noise of an ocean of printed matter, and the best pulp artists learned to get their point across as fast and as dramatically as possible. Their illustration style was so effective, it's impossible to think of stories from the pulp era without seeing through the eyes of those artists. Where is it? I feel like it's in the back here. Yes. A note on the process. Every one of the images in the Pulp Tarot is a collage of sorts gleaned from hundreds of different sources and manipulated digitally in Photoshop. Most of the central figures on the various cards have been lifted from original pulp sources in my collection. Magazines and novels and advertisements, along with the occasional movie poster or serious novel. Some figures have been cobbled together from multiple sources. The Two of Wands Gentleman Explorer, for instance, comes from 5 different sources. The head and trunk of the man came from a 1920s adventure magazine cover, his trousers from a different image, his boots from still another, and the tiny globe from yet another. His arms and hands are my own. The goal for me is to assemble all of these different elements, then futz with them until they look as if they have all been painted by the same hand. So the copyright, but technically speaking, the copyright is 2022 Todd Alcott, all rights reserved. So if somebody else did something similar to this, or they went and made photocopies and then put it onto a different cardstock and attempted to sell it, that's a counterfeit deck. And if you're wondering why I'm getting so crazy about this, is because it does matter. It does matter. Like, let me give you an example from one of the artists that is affected by this, Patrick Valenza, who is the artist behind the Deviant Moon tarot deck. Let me see here. I'm scrolling through here. Hold on. Aha, found one. Ah. All right. So, for example, on April 25th, He posted, well, we're starting to see counterfeit Triumphi full spectrum decks popping up here and there. Definitely makes us rethink our next projects. See what I was saying before? We had the Tarot of Black Enchantment and the Fenwood Oracle planned for this year, but have decided to hold them back at the moment. No use releasing something only to have these criminals steal it out from under you. This is an industry-wide problem. Unfortunately, China disregards US copyrights and has no problem stealing intellectual properties. Please do not support this theft. Many tarot creators like myself are seriously considering abandoning the tarot world and moving on to different things. Please spread the word and thank you for your support. That's terrible, guys. That is terrible. So, and someone commented to this, unfortunately, there will be counterfeiters as long as there will be buyers. So much like that person that commented on my how to spot counterfeit decks, where it's just like, whoa, well, it's so expensive anyway. Get off your high horse. Okay, right? The problem is not really the counterfeiters themselves, but the buyers. Without buyers, no counterfeiters. I see more and more Tube of You channels showing fake decks like it was like if it was right, they should be banned, in my opinion. These kinds of channels consider that everybody has the right to have expensive decks, even if they're poor, because everybody is intuitive and has a right to work it. Maybe I'm a bit old generation, but I learned from my parents that I have to spare money for something I wish for or do without it. But in any case, I was told that I was not allowed to steal from anyone to get it. Whatever it is, a pen, a computer, a phone, a car, a tarot deck. These are just principles of life, respect, basic education. I know this post will not please everyone, but I really think the problem of counterfeiters could be solved by educating people and explaining the consequences. And it's probably the hardest job. So, Deviant Moon Tarot, Patrick says, totally agree. Thank you. Yes, we get that poor, so it's okay excuse a lot, like you said, or that it's their right to have these for whatever ridiculous reasoning to justify theft. Thank you so much for the feedback. So, sad to think that you have to put off projects because of others. I know a lot of us report on them as much as we can. Unfortunately, being creative means people are going to try and steal it and make their own. I hope you all still can create tarot and oracle decks because they are some of my favorites and so unique. And it's sad to hear. So oh, Fran says, whatever came of all those counterfeit decks you found, or did I miss that? I haven't reached out to the companies yet because there were so many on the shelves, but I do have their business card right here in front of me to do so, and I'll probably do that this weekend, honestly. But the reason why I'm talking about it is because someone commented on my my video podcast episode on how to spot counterfeit decks, and basically had attitude about it and said, like, you know, what's the big deal? Like, get off your high horse. Right. So Katie's saying the fact that people like that have meant that the fact that people like that has meant good artists are leaving the industry is the part that is the most disappointing. I agree, and it shouldn't be happening. Yeah, just talking about a troll who was complaining about the cost of original decks being why they are buying counterfeit decks. Yeah, I know. Fran's like, I can read it again. I can read the comment again if you want. Or you can just find it yourself on the Tube of You. But I was just like, are you even kidding me? Because I really didn't think talking about how to spot counterfeit decks was going to be a controversial thing, but apparently it was. Apparently, whoever it was that commented didn't like what I had to say and told me to get off my high horse, dog. You can always you can always watch the replay later, Fran, and hear exactly what they had to say. But it was just like, wow, really? Really? Uh, Anyway, I had to share it with you guys because you heard about the rants first about counterfeit decks and why they're a problem. So I had to, like, once I realized that there was a comment about about that, I was just like, well, this is exactly the reason why I did that podcast episode on how to spot counterfeit decks. And also in that podcast episode, I go in depth as to the reason why it's a problem. So clearly this person probably didn't even watch or listen to the whole episode. They just saw, you know, me talking about how to spot counterfeit decks and made their own assumptions. So Oh, awesome. Fran says, speaking of, because of you people, I bought the Pulp Tarot. Awesome. We are here to enable your tarot purchases, Fran. I'm very proud of that. Speaking of that, so, um, oh, Katie says, Hillary, it's probably best that you didn't see it during the broadcast. You could have given that troll a big pile of high horse. LOL. Actually, that particular episode was one that was the live call-in show, but nobody called in on that particular episode. So I used my backup topic, which was talking about counterfeit decks and how to spot them. So it ended up going into a different direction, not the podcast episode that I expected to record that particular week, but I ended up doing it anyway. Recorded it over Zoom and then uploaded the audio to my different podcast platforms and then the video to my Tube of You. So whenever this person commented, they commented after the fact. So fortunately, it wasn't live. So I guess I did. I guess I dodged a bullet not having to deal with that kind of person live and in person. And, but at the same time, like, I don't think I would have done anything any differently. I mean, even if somebody were to show up right now on the live and be like, well, I don't see what the big deal is, I'd be happy to talk about why it's a big deal, but I already did. So people like that, I think sometimes there's only so much you can say and do, because those people will feel like they're justified in doing what they're doing and buying counterfeit decks. Much like some of the commenters for Patrick's post kind of did, where they're just like, it's not so much the counterfeiters, but the buyers, the people that will buy. And I mean, to some degree, I agree with that statement, and to other, you know, I'm slightly of the opinion that it's just like, yeah, but also counterfeiters shouldn't be counterfeiting either. I think like people that buy counterfeit decks shouldn't be buying them, and counterfeiters shouldn't be counterfeiting them. So I think it's like, I don't think it's necessarily who's the biggest to blame. I think it's more about, neither of those things should be happening. So I was looking for my lip balm. Anyway. Do I have any lip balm in here? Not really. So any other thoughts or questions on the whole counterfeit deck thing? Because I could go into way more depth. I have way more to say about it. But I feel like I'm preaching to the converted in this space, because you all know how I feel about it. And for those people that might be tuning in a little bit later and disagreeing with me about counterfeit decks and how that's not a problem, like, let's it's not necessarily agreeing to disagree. It's just that I think it's a real problem and you shouldn't be doing it. And if you think it's not a problem, like, you are part of the problem. So, and I mean, there are so many things that you could spend your money on in this day and age. You can spend your money on makeup, you can spend your money on tarot decks, you can spend your money on books or pens or technology or gadgets or jewelry. And it is really about what you're choosing to spend your money on. But when you choose to spend your money on a counterfeit deck, like, one, you've got no guarantees as to the quality, and probably the quality is going to be really shitty. Same thing could be said for anything, like, not just tarot decks. Let's expand the conversation or expand the topic to other things. If you're paying like $20 for a pair of headphones, well, the headphones are probably going to be kind of crappy as opposed to spending 150 or $200 on a set of headphones. That's part of the reason why I'm a little bit annoyed at the fact that, like, one of my earbuds is not working right now, or the audio is not coming out of it. Everything else is working about it except for the audio. The audio is not coming out of it. It's responsive when I touch it, so it, like, turns down the volume, or it skips a track, or it pauses a track. So, like, that part of it is not a problem, but the audio is not coming out of the left. So I'm emailing the company to see if I can troubleshoot it or what I need to do to be able to correct it, because I did spend quite a bit of money on this. But I also realize that if I spent $10 or $5 on a pair of headphones, I'm probably not going to feel so bad about it when it starts to malfunction, because it's just like, you do get what you pay for. Like, and I'm much more willing to just pay for another set of $5 headphones when the cheapo ones, like, give out. Like these, hold on, please. Excuse me, but I've got an example right here. Like, these are cheapo headphones that I got, next to cash wrap over at, like, the Best Buy or the Staples. And I needed a set of wired headphones to plug in for a flight, or plug into a headphone jack, whatever. Am I going to cry about them if they start to malfunction? No, because I paid like $5 for them. So it is that matter of getting what you paid for. If you buy a counterfeit deck, like, you shouldn't cry about the quality of a counterfeit deck, because you should know that's a counterfeit deck. And that was my whole purpose for creating that particular podcast episode, was to inform people about how to spot a counterfeit deck before you go and purchase it. Because it's not helping you, and it's definitely not helping the original artist that's being ripped off. But ultimately, it is about what are you choosing to spend your money on, and being an informed consumer. I would be just as angry about another thing that was being counterfeited or ripped off. I happen to be very sensitive about this whole tarot deck thing, because we have people like Patrick Valenza that is thinking about completely leaving the tarot industry. I think the same thing happened with Ciro Marchetti around the time that, like, Legacy of the Divine came out, which was a tarot deck that he produced a while ago. But he was having problems with counterfeiting too, and it's resulting in people leaving an industry that they love because of the actions of the unscrupulous. Right, exactly. Fran says, so people get their nails done. I buy tarot decks and books. Exactly. It's what you choose to spend your money on, but you're also being a wise consumer as well. and choosing to buy a deck that you know to be legitimate. Same thing with books. There is a huge problem with like the new age industry and the book industry where people are going to different websites and getting digital copies of books. And that's a huge problem too. Because the authors aren't seeing the payment, the publishers aren't seeing the payments. Yes. Sophia says, I need my little treat to stave off existential dread. Don't we all? Don't we all? So, on that note, I didn't think I was going to wax so philosophical and poetic about, that one comment that set me off, but it is annoying. Let's do the mid-episode reading. So I'm quite willing to read from the Pulp Tarot. I did do the card of the day today. The card of the day today is the Empress card. I was going to say, stay tuned for a live tarot reading, but we're there. We're there now. So let me pull up the Comet Snake and the lottery jar and pull up this crawler. And where's the mid-episode reading? There we go. All right. So now is the time to win a free 3-card reading right here on the broadcast. So just go ahead and drop a comment into the chat. Any comments, you can just do a 1-word comment. That way we know that you're interested, and that way your little comment circle will drop into the lottery jar right here, like so. So Sophia has been entered to win the mid-episode reading. And I would ask, so last week we did have a winner. So whoever the winner was last week, I would ask you to refrain from entering so that we have more opportunity for other people to win. I think, who ended up winning last week? I can look it up really quickly, but yeah, let me go ahead and look it up really quickly. Yes, I can put a timer on this. I was thinking you might put a timer on this so you don't wait for those who don't want to enter. Yes, I can do that. So I'm going to give it about 3 minutes. So let me pull up that widget too. Contest closes in Let's move that away from my face. Yes, I think Fran won last week. But I'm just gonna Yes. All right. So we have Katie, we have Sophia. We did have, I think, a newer viewer at the start of the episode come in, Josephine. So she was going to the store, I think, but she hoped to be back before the end of the live stream. So, you know, it's always nice though. It's always nice to see new viewers coming up and saying hi, how are you, and you know, interested in what I'm doing. So that's pretty cool. All right, so we've got another minute, and I'm going to hydrate myself. And I am going to say, whoever wins, you can go ahead and request which deck you'd like to be read from. We do have the Pulp Tarot, which is the deck of the month. I can totally read with that one. We also have the Reflective Tarot. We've got the Diablo Tarot. I know that's not everyone's favorite. We have the Radiant Rider-Waite Smith. What other decks do I have? We have the Sorcery Underground deck. So I know exactly where that is too. So a couple of different decks to choose from. So just keep that in mind as well. The question that you want to ask and what deck you want to be read from. Five, four, three, two, one. All right. Are we ready? Are we ready? All right. Let us pick a winner. Sophia is the winner of the mid-episode reading. I had a feeling it was going to be Sophia. That's why I mentioned the Sorcery Underground deck. So Sophia, go ahead and put your question into the chat and which deck you'd like to be read from. And yeah. I'm going to keep the lottery jar open with the winner listed there until we're done with the reading. So, ooh. Dealer's choice on deck. You know I'm going to go for the Sorcery Underground. You know I'm going to go for that because that's your fault that I got that. Yes, dear. Oh. That was hard not commenting for 3 minutes. I understand, Fran. And that's okay. I think it's still fine. Like I think you can still comment, and then if your name had come up, I would just pick get a winner again, just to make it fair for everybody else. So it's fine. You can totally comment. I get it. You know, I have to keep in mind who the last person was, just to make it fair and equal for everybody. So I'm gonna go grab the Sorcery Underground because I think that's what I'm gonna go for. So we need the question from Sophia. So it's been a while, actually, since I've touched this deck. Fran says, if it helps, I was pointing at myself trying to tell you I won last week. Katie says, Fran, that's why I suggested the timer. I've had the agony for a few weeks too. See, I did. I listened. Timer is good, and I think 3 minutes is good too. All right. So the question is, moving away to London soon, but also looking for companionship. All my readings for myself are telling me to wait. How should I proceed regarding my love life or lack thereof? Well, you know, when you know, you know, you know. So it might be a little bit interesting to see what I have to say and what this deck has to say about that. And I am interested in knowing like which deck have you been asking about that, because I have a feeling you have not had the intestinal fortitude, shall I say, to ask this particular question of the Sorcery Underground. So because we've had conversations about how when we use just this deck as like straight no chaser, it can be a little bit brutal. So, oh, I'm curious then. Sorcery Underground, Thoth, Tabula Monday, gotta rip off the Band-Aid. Okay. All right. So if you've used Sorcery Underground for this particular question, pay attention to what cards come up in this reading, and let me know if the same cards or similar cards come up that you've already pulled when asking that question. All right. All right. The Fool reversed. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So, okay, so I'm pulling 3 cards, but the very first card that's coming up is Unfo. Unfo reversed. So that is the Fool card reversed. So, and then we also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've got the 8 of Spades also coming up reversed. And then the one card that is coming up upright is the 7 of Hearts, which is number 31, and there's a candle there. Red flags ignored. Ha! So let me know if you pulled any of those cards in your readings, okay? So first off, what I like to do is I like to go to, for this particular deck, I like to go to the companion book first and then do my own interpretation, which is usually the other way around. But for some reason for this one, I want to go the other way. Oh, so that's where my labradorite went. Actually, is this labradorite? Or is it onyx? I don't know. I don't know what rock that is, but I have a nice little rock with it. Okay. And my companion book that is very hard to work with right now because I bent it over a couple of times. Okay, so the Fool reversed. Unheeded warnings. Exactly. Unheeded warnings, red flags ignored. The trickster spirit is trying to teach a lesson. Pause. Look both ways. Watch your back and your front. Method is place this card in front of a light blue candle and meditate on which path to take. Very funny. And I see you're commenting in the chat. So let me keep on going and then I'll come back to your comments. So number 74 reversed. The 8 of Spades, the birdcage. Reversed is pessimism, despair. A focus on the negative is keeping you from removing yourself from it. The restrictions from the upright card are also present here. So the upright, it says a blockage, restriction, limitation, sometimes self-imposed. Advice: if you are ready to change a situation but feel trapped, the only magic spell you need is the words you use to ask for help. Help is available as soon as you are ready. And then finally, the one upright card that you have is number 31, and that's the 7 of hearts. Yeah, 7 hearts, a candle. Illusions, dreams, daydreams, confusion, options, indecision, illustration, watercolor, head in the clouds, or lost in the sauce. Advice is to make a decision, stick 6 pins into a candle, evenly spaced to divide the candle into 7 sections. Each day for 7 days, burn one section of the candle. By the end of the 7th day, you will have decided. But I think you've already decided. You know, like I think like it's interesting that like it's like all signs are pointing to like I think it would be fine if you had like a fling, but at the same time I don't necessarily think that you're capable of that or that you really want that, you know, because what if something does happen and it becomes more serious and then you have to go to London, you know? um so Sophia says similar, more of an emphasis on personal transformation than red flags. Yeah, I think it's just like it's interesting that these cards are coming up and that most of them are coming up reversed, as opposed to the one card that's coming up. It's just like the one card that's coming up, which is the seven of hearts. It's the 7 of cups, which is a card of like idea, being spoiled for choice. This time in your life is a time of expansion, and it's almost as if the companionship, I think the companionship will be there, but it will be there once you move to London, you know? But like in the meantime, it's almost like you're preparing yourself for so many things, including that possible companion that's awaiting you once you move to London. So Sophia's saying exactly that. I keep saying that all my decks are slut shaming me and saying I can't do casual, but they really just know me. Yeah, I mean, like this is like you do have a tendency, I think, with these 2 reversals coming up where it's just like you could do that, but you're gonna catch feelings, and then it's gonna make leaving even harder, you know? And I mean, like, yes, technically it could work, but at the same time, it's just like you want to keep things emotionally clean as much as possible so that you can actually enter into this new phase of your life feeling completely dedicated and in moving in the same direction. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if, like, the Chariot card had come up, you know, like it has this sense of like trying to gather your resources to move forward in one direction, which you are absolutely capable of doing. But it's just like it's almost like this monumental thing that's happening that it's just like, okay, how can I, it's not necessarily procrastination per se, it's just that, you know, the preparation is driving you a little bit batty. Does that make sense? 100%, I'm just impatient. I know that's 100% to something else though. But like having the Fool card come up reversed is like very much that kind of like yes, we're agreeing. We're agreeing with that whole like it's not the right time, you know? And also there's other things, there's other emotional entanglements that do need to be wrapped up in order for you to kind of like reverse the reversal of the Fool card, you know? And it may not be necessarily you having to go to a person and have a conversation with them. It's more about what you have to do individually to feel prepared to move on. Like almost creating that closure for yourself. Yes, that's dead on. Good. Glad to know. Glad to know that I'm helping. I'm actually going to pull one more card for you. I'm going to pull an affirmation card for you as well. I also need to plug back in my computer. And also, I just got a text message from about an apartment that we took a look at today. So I'm like really excited about that, but that means I have to fill out some paperwork. So getting excited, good energy and good vibes appreciated. All right. So I have the Spirit Chunky close to hand, so I'm going to pull from that. I am wondering, though, where the heck I put my Super Attractor affirmation stack, because I kind of wanted to pull from that, too. I'm at the point right now where it's just like I can't find any of the decks that I like want to work with. So that's going to be a occurrence over the next 5 weeks. Okay, this is ridiculous. I'm going to pull another one for you, but the deep card is pretty ridiculous. So, all right. Two affirmation cards for you, methinks. All right. Here's your two. So the first card that I got, which is the deep card, is I am ready to go big, rise up, and step into my power. And then the second affirmation card is it's safe to ask for help. People want to support me. It's safe to ask for help. People want to support me. So I hope that helped. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating in the mid-episode reading. I hope it was helpful. I hope it wasn't too harsh, because I know that sometimes that Sorcery Underground without a chaser can be a little bit abrupt. Yep. Yep, that's what I struggle with. What do you mean I can't do it all? Because nobody can. Nobody can do it all. All right. So I'm going to put this away. And actually, I think we're pretty much done with the episode, because I got to go fill out this paperwork, man. And thank you, Katie. Katie's saying lots of good luck to you for the apartment. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have a feeling like once we land on it, everything's going to happen very, very quickly, and I'm here for it. But it's still a little bit like aggravating. Fran, wait, I have to ask for help? Yes. All right. Let me put that away. Let me leave that going. All right. Just a reminder to everyone, we do this every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, whether we have a topic in mind or not, or people can suggest a topic as well. That's completely cool too. Katie's saying, I have a ripped intercostal doing exactly that, Sophia. Have said a lot lately. Why didn't you ask for help? My ribs have said a lot lately. Why didn't you ask for help? I mean, that happens sometimes too. It's just like, I wouldn't beat yourself up too much about it, because it's just like, but because it's already painful enough to begin with. But sometimes that's how physical pain helps us. That's also sometimes how our intuition helps us too, where it's just like, there's a little bit of a whisper, and then the whisper gets louder, and then it gets louder, and then it starts to become screams. And the trick of it is listening to our intuition in enough time so that the whispers from our intuition don't become screams. At least that's been my experience of trusting my intuition, listening to my intuition, and also reading for other people too. All right, let's do the weekend forecast. Does anyone have any suggestions for which deck to use, because I mean, I've got the affirmations deck out here, but I also have the Work Your Light Oracle deck, and I have the Starseed Oracle deck. It's been a while since we've done the Starseed Oracle deck, so I'm kind of leaning towards that one since we've been doing the Work Your Light one a lot, but I can be convinced otherwise. All right. Katie is saying go with your feelings. So I'm going to go grab the Starseed. And if it's related to home at all, I'm going to laugh my head off. But that is the way that some of these work, right? All right. Starseed Oracle. And this is basically, what do we most need to know this weekend? How do we need to enter into this weekend? What is the energy that we need to carry ourselves with this weekend? What do we need to know? But I have a feeling the Oracle deck is going to come for me, which I know everyone enjoys. Like, yes, there might be a kernel of it for you, but like, for some reason, everybody enjoys when the tarot or the Oracle cards come for me. Well, apparently I need to call in support just as much as you guys need to call in support, because we're literally getting the card Star Family. You're part of a team of souls. Call in support. So I'm going to go ahead and hold that up so y'all can see it. And let us go to the guidebook. All right, Star Family. At some stage, we were each a part of a soul cluster, a gathering of souls who broke away from one another to experience themselves individually. Those who are part of your soul cluster are a part of your star family. Your star family are those souls who are cut from a similar cosmic cloth. You haven't just experienced lifetimes together, your souls were once actually one. It's very common for star family members to incarnate at similar times, to work with anchoring a similar frequency of light, and to cross paths with each other. You know that someone is a part of your star family when you feel like you know and remember them from the moment you meet. They feel instantly familiar and comfortable. Time both passes quickly and stretches when you're with them. You feel more yourself with them than with anyone else. It can sometimes feel like looking in the mirror because, in a way, you are. Often you'll go out of your way to help those in your star family, instinctively knowing it's part of your path. When a star family member dies, you feel it very deeply, regardless of how long you knew them. A certain soul mourning or soul breaking occurs. Think about the people in your life. Who do you feel is part of your star family? If this card comes up in a spread, it's likely that you've met someone who is part of your star family or you're about to. Sorry to get a little bit choked up there, because that's literally what happened this week. Someone that I'm friends with that was my coven sister died. So I didn't really want to talk about it on here, but like, this is kind of an acknowledgement that, you know, they were a part of my star family. So So the Starseed Soul inquiry for this card is, who do you think is from the same star family as you, and how can you call upon them for support? It's kind of weird that this is coming up, because I feel like things are starting to come together for me in ways that I didn't expect, and I feel like that's a part of like that person's gift to me, is doing that for me or helping me on the other side. And it's really, really weird to talk about it, and it's really weird to feel that presence. And it's especially weird to talk about it on here, which I didn't really want to do. But yeah, like when I get called out, and when a card is particularly poignant for me, like I have to acknowledge it and I have to say it. So yeah, Katie's saying we just chuckle when that happens, Hilary, because it happens to all of us. Yeah. So I don't necessarily know if the Star Family card is for everyone that's watching, or it's just for me and it's just an acknowledgement of what's going on. But if you do feel that this message is for you for this weekend, then it is for you. This weekend, or whenever it is that you're watching it. It could be 2 years from now, it could be 10 years from now, it could be 5 minutes from now. But if it's resonating for you and it's helpful for you, then the message is for you, because that's how this kind of shit works. So yeah, that's true too, Fran. You can't hear us when it happens to us. Yeah. So I don't know. To some degree, that card is bringing me a little bit of comfort. So I'm gonna take it for what it is, and I'm gonna acknowledge it for what it is. And thanks. So yeah. Katie says Star Family hits all of us. We all need to call on them at all times. Yeah. Or at times, like that's what they're there for. And I mean, like I have noticed when I've done mediumship readings that a lot of the common messages are not less meaningful for their commonness. They're more meaningful because they literally want to help us. Like that's what they want to do. That's what they're here to do, is to help us. And we just need to ask. We just need to ask for their help, and it's given, like almost automatically. But it is that asking that is important. Like nothing can happen until you ask. Like they're like waiting in the wings, begging us to ask them for that help. So I find it very interesting sometimes that is the common message sometimes of mediumship readings, and those kind of messages of comfort and of hope, is that just ask for that help, and it is so willingly given that you'd be amazed at how quickly some things can happen for you. So I think that's it. Didn't want to be a downer to end this episode, but I also had a feeling that this was going to come up, because we actually had this person watching and attending a few of the lives too, and she's shown up here tonight, so that's kind of amazing. And I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you all so much for watching. We'll do this again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Book of Face or the Tube of You. I am looking into other options, because there are other options available for simulcasting here. I think it was like I think I saw the Gram of Insta. I think I saw like the Amazon. all sorts of different options. So I will be looking into that to see if I can possibly do the live stream on more platforms for all of you. I did see that. I did see it for the Talk of Tick too. So I'm kind of wondering and seeing how I can experiment with that and how I can do that. So thank you all very much. Like, you're very welcome, Katie. Have a good weekend, everybody. Right back at you. And once again, I am Hilary, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. That's what I firmly believe, that everybody has intuition. And I use tarot as the tool to connect me and to connect other people to their intuition. But there are so many other tools out there to be had to connect to your intuition. And most of all, it's acknowledging that you do have intuition that can sometimes unlock it for yourself. So have a wonderful week. I'll see you again Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.